Here we are, Hickey, you and me. I'm JD. New year, episode 201 after the drunken stupor that was the One Piece episode. That was fun. Was that the drunkest I've gotten on a podcast?
No.
No? Okay. I think Ghost in the Shell was probably the most, right?
Probably, like, there was one you went on a rant
It had to be Ghost in
for
the Shell.
like 30 minutes, and you're like, "Chicky, we want this. We understand. We just want to go, man. We got
Yeah.
shit to do."
That was fun.
That one was maybe not the most drunk. That was the most annoying.
That was the most
definitely.
annoying. Well, that would be the most drunk then.
Not really. You can be like super drunk and happy. That's fine.
Okay.
So it's a different kind of drunk.
So we were talking about New Year's. We were talking about winter 2026 season a little bit. A lot of hero party type shows this season.
Yeah, a lot.
And then a
I
lot
hope it's not a trend towards the end of the year, or the rest of the year. I hope we get some variety. They're not isekai or fantasy and things in that nature.
Well, I was talking about it briefly, but the rollover and die show at least is somewhat different, with a chick getting kicked out of the party in some brutal fashion. In this case, she was sold off to slavery and branded. I'm like, whoa. They even show things. There's a lot of blood and gore to it, which I haven't seen that in like a modern anime in quite some time, I feel.
Really?
I mean, there's Hell's Paradise, which is coming out for a second season. That's pretty gory.
Yeah, that one is.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched one a few months ago. Just kind of the same premise. There's a lot of blood and gore, but I won't remember the name now because it is that generic.
Fruit in second season's top of my list. That comes out in a few days. Or no, a week. Still another week. Damn it.
It's gonna go really fast.
Go by quick.
Fine. Yep.
Anything popping out to you this season?
Yeah, Freyrin.
Well,
definitely.
Yeah.
I think it is the anime of the season.
Yeah.
When I started looking at the list, I didn't think I was going to watch a lot of things. I had like 2 anime, and I forgot that Freyrin was coming out, so it became 3. There's a show there's a manga I really enjoy. There's Yusha no Kuzu, and now there's the show. The art for it and like the poster is very. It doesn't show really what it is about. There's a lot of gore in the show. A lot of people die, and a lot of named characters die. But at some point, it becomes a lot of mob killing stuff. A lot of mob characters end up dying, but some here and there of the characters end up killing. Even the schoolgirls, they end up killing people, right? They're not like really privy about it, except like the main girl, but she has reasons. That's why it's like Yusha no Kuzu. It's like Yusha is just or hero is just a denomination of the people who use some type of drug to combat illegal drug using guys that become like gangsters modify their bodies to be powerful, essentially. So instead of like buying guns, they buy just genetically modified parts
Extensions.
and have surgery to insert that into them. And so like they become super strong, okay, use magic and whatnot. And the heroes, they use a drug to enhance their abilities and fight those guys, essentially. So you don't need to be a good guy to be a hero. You essentially a drug addict. And so like one of the chicks find this dude, he's like called the Reaper, because of course he is. And he's like this super awesome hero that just doesn't really try hard anymore, and ask him to be, her mentor and her friend's mentor. And essentially that's the story. And they go around just essentially boarding people and killing people, because essentially they're killing criminals, right? So it's an interesting show. There's a lot of violence. There's a violent underbelly, because again, most of the time it's going to be very comedic. and then a character, a named character, that's just like in the bar they frequent, would get ambushed and die really like a miserable death out of sight. So it's a very interesting story. So I'm excited to see it animated, although it's Studio OLM,
Ooh.
but it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be okay.
Optimistic.
You gotta believe in people, man. I think I think that's pretty much it. Raiden and like Yushinokuzu. The rest is just like there's so much
There's a lot to take in.
fantasy. Well, there's Kaya-chan wa Kwakunai. Kaya-chan isn't scary.
Yeah, that's what Colin's way into.
Yeah, that show is, well, the manga is kind of fucked up.
Mhm.
I haven't watched the anime yet. I think I'm gonna pass on it until it's completed and can watch everything
Mm.
on one go.
Yeah, it's mostly Fear in Hell's Paradise, and then I'll just try a slew of different things after that. I gotta
Oh yeah,
do
the many different flavors of fantasy isekai.
yeah. I'm very curious about Sentenced to Be a Hero. I think that's the one with the most potential of the genericism that we're dealing with.
Yeah, especially because it's a Studio Kai, so it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty and well animated, right?
I hope so.
I mean, come on, Studio Kai does good stuff, man. Most of the time.
Most of the time. Let's see. Studio Kai recently has done. Ugh.
Kai.
Oh, they did 7 Seeds. Bastards. A lot of Uma Musume. Right up your alley.
Yeah. But it's like well, nowadays it's everything is just done by side games anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super Cub, they did Super Cub. Super Cub is nice. It's well animated. The Skeleton Knight is well animated as well. It is. It, it doesn't fall off in terms of production value after a few episodes, which is nice. It's very consistent. Loop 7, I haven't watched it. A lot of music videos, which I've watched most of them. They're also very well animated.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 3 animes still to come out this year.
Wow. Well, Map is putting out Jujutsu Kaisen and Hell's Paradise at the same season, so that's kind of rough.
So some of them, some is like heavily
Yeah.
uh,
Outsourced.
handed by
Yeah.
outsourced.
It has to be. Those are 2 major shows of the season, so. Is this the end of Jujutsu Kaisen, or is there a lot more to it?
I don't know.
I recall it being very short.
I think it is. There's the culling arc. I think. I don't know if this is the culling arc.
Because they had a
Or
lot of
culling
characters
games.
die at the end of the first season.
Yeah, it has. Again, there's a full arc called the culling game.
Ugh.
So
More
I think
death.
more people will die.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. So I, over this past week, got to experience my first fuck you in visual novels, which I very much explained in detail to you over Discord, you and Tori. Did you happen to catch that? I know Tori responded.
No, can you?
So, you know
I
how
don't
over
know.
the past year I've been slowly playing, a girl who travels through time or whatever?
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
The
I
PC
saw
98
that.
game?
Yeah. I saw the fuckery.
Oh my
the
god.
game does a bit.
So I went into a lot more detail on the gaming podcast. That's where it was more relevant. But since it also has an anime adaptation to it all and a hentai, as Tori very much pointed that out to me, um, basically, it took me way too long to figure out its little time travel mechanic that's in the game. In order to lay down travel points, in order to take advantage of branching paths and how the character can retain his memories, etc., etc. I'm like halfway through the game, or close to it, and the first major puzzle to a certain route, or I'm halfway through the main route, whichever the case. Basically, I came to a puzzle. I got stuck because I didn't get an item that was from way earlier in the game, and my save point was just after that. So I couldn't get the item. It was locked out. So I'm fucked and have to start the whole game over.
Yeah, that sounds like a PC 98 game to me.
Yeah, just straight ass, and I haven't picked it up since. I've tried watching YouTube videos on it, and I'm just like falling asleep because I'm not interacting with anything. I'm just watching dialogue play slowly in front of me. And it's not like the story was all that great anyways. It's just a kid wanting to bang his teacher and stepmom over and over again. At least that's all I've gotten to so far.
Yeah. I don't know about the hentai. There's the anime adaptation from 2019. Like, and you're like, oh wait, this came out for PC 98. The adaptation is from 2019.
Yeah, it
I
took him
watched it.
25 years to come out with the anime.
Yeah.
It seems
I remember
little
watching
late.
it. Like, you're talking about like the thing. You're like, oh, it's just a guy trying to bang his teacher. I was like, oh yes, I remember watching that as it was coming out. That shit was ass.
Shit was ass. Yeah. It's not very
It is on
good.
hold. Like I watched most of it, but it's showing on hold because in 2019 I was like getting out of university and into my job, so I kind of like there was like one 2018 I didn't watch anything because I was writing my final thesis.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2019 kind of the same thing. So it's there, but yeah, I remember that. I remember this. Oh, I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, I feel like I wasted so much time. Well, as I do have to tell you this
Could
part.
have been playing too hard, but no. Could have been canon, but no.
Well, I'm playing Fate Stay Night still. Still doing that. At least with the bad endings there, it like goes, okay, let's review to the save point right there before you got brutally murdered by the German chick. Or is she German? Ilya von Stelstein or whatever her name was.
Oh, Ilya. Yeah, well, spoiler things. Cannot say much about her. The Berserk
Yeah, but she's from like
warrior.
Germany, isn't she? Or Russia? Maybe she's Russian. Ilya's
Ah,
more of a Eastern European name.
good question. I don't know. It might be German. There's like this fascination with Germany when it comes to fate.
Okay, von Einsbern. Okay, that's more Dutch-ish.
Yeah, I think it's from. I think she's from Germany.
Irisviel von Einsbern. She is from. Does it say where she's from? Fuck it. Let's assume Germany. Who cares? Yeah, I'm still going through that. It's gonna take a hell of a lot of motivation for me to pick back up, and play that trashy game.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, brutal.
Well, gotta start again, man.
Ugh, I really don't want to. I really don't want to.
Or you just watch someone play the thing you missed.
Ugh. I mean, honestly, what is the real
you can find
difference
someone.
between? No, I've found YouTube videos, people playing it. There's even a remaster that looks way better, but I'm not spending money on that. I just haven't. What sucks is that I did through emulation, and I even have various save states at different points. All my I just ran out of save states where I just rolled over them. So I'd
Yeah.
played enough into the ridiculous.
You played enough into the game to lose the only save file that
Yep.
would.
I was like 3 save files past that point. I went, oh my god, I just got no chance.
Damn.
Ugh.
That's brutal.
Yeah. But I'm on an RPG kick this year, so I'm playing Final Fantasy 13 now. I think I'm gonna play Final Fantasy 8. I haven't played that in like a decade, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. I'll try to reread some books I have over. I haven't touched it in decades at this point.
Yeah, you'll probably remember a lot, but as you read, you'll be reminded of lots of details.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things that like there's a bunch of books that I was forced to buy in my school years because it was like obligatory reading,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like pay that much attention to them, so I want to go back and reread them. It's like, ah, yes, that story. They made me read this book because it is this good. I see. I understand now.
Yeah, but when you're forced to read something you don't want to, you just kind of blind your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit. Once
That's
I
my
got
goal for this year.
once I got out of American high school, I was never forced to read another book again. It's just so great.
Oh no, I'm glad they forced me to read books. I would say.
Well, there was like Of Mice and Men, The Giver, what was the Great Expectations? That was the worst one they ever forced us to read in school. I despise that book. It's so boring.
I don't know.
Now
I have, like,
Shakespeare, that was a little different. I did enjoy the few of those that I had to read.
I had to read Brazilian literature, so it's a little bit different.
I
It's kind of
imagine
fucked
so.
up. It's like, yeah, you were like 13, but you gotta learn about necrophilia. It's like, excuse me, what is that? And then here's a book full of short stories about necrophilia.
Yeah.
What the fuck were people smoking in this country in the 19th century? What the hell? That was published in newspapers?
Oh no,
What?
wait, I take that back. In Germany in high school, I had to read The Life of Galileo, and I already read Anne Frank's diary, so I didn't have to read that. I already like knew it.
Yeah.
And I don't count all the philosophy things because those were more like excerpts that we had to read and interpret.
Yeah.
So
It's literature.
yeah,
Books.
all in German. Whew. Rough shit. Okay. So today we're doing Ouran High School Host Club. Boy, do we play the drop and start going over it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Playing the drop. Let's see what drop am I gonna play? Oh, New Year. Here we go. This will work.
Chise is cute, but slow. She's little, timid, and on top of that, really clumsy.
Okay. 19 minutes into the cast. A little faster than usual. Okay.
Yeah, there isn't a lot to talk about. There's no sports coming out. Well, there's Premier League and
yeah.
other things.
I watched
coming,
Chelsea
but
get a wicked red card the other day, and I'm sure Tori was talking all about it.
my season is starting right now, so there isn't much I can talk.
Well, I mean, I could always go into deep hockey talk with how great the Colorado Avalanche are. Utah's on the up. Maple Leafs are hanging in there. They're not as good as they were the last couple of years. But the Avalanche is just a blast to watch. They're ripping it. The record is like 32-4. They just can't lose. It's great.
Brazil won a medal in the ski World Cup, and that was very surprising.
Like what? The downhill alpine or?
I think it's downhill alpine. We got
Okay.
like a silver medal.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh, certainly you should do that. It has a name that is not even remotely Portuguese. No, the dude is like has the most generic Portuguese name I ever seen in my life. I was like, oh, what? Okay, congratulations to you. Interesting. We are a powerhouse in ski for some reason.
All right. So we're doing Ouran High School Host Club. It came out in the spring of 2006. It is by Studio Bones, but it looks like something out of 2001.
The bias is showing.
Haruhi Fujioka is a studious girl, not a boy. They swear she's a girl. All right. Who has recently enrolled at the prestigious Ouran Academy. One day, while looking for a quiet and peaceful place to study, she stumbles across a seemingly unused music room. Upon entering, Haruhi is welcomed by the members of a well-known host club, a club in which attractive boys amuse girls from across the entire school. It's Maid Cafe, but dudes. However, when Tamaki, the founder and president of the club, startles our scholarship student, she accidentally breaks an expensive vase, and thus begins her repayment into the club, and then she works for them, and they find out she's not a boy, she is a girl later, pretty quickly, and rambunctious dialogue ensues over the running of the club and her trying to make up money with this group of boys. It is a very shoujo show. It is not a reverse harem, despite it kind of being advertised as that. It's...
Or is it advertised like that?
I mean, anytime you put reverse harem in, this is like
Kind
top
of
of the
is.
list.
It kind of becomes a reverse harem right at the end, right at the last episode. But until then,
It's really just
more
like
a
one
comedy.
guy.
Oh, there's three now.
I mean, she impacts other guys. Like,
Yeah, it's more of a comedy than anything else, if I was to say. After the initial shock of the first like 3 episodes, and then you get you understand, you get introduced to every character, and you understand the tropes that they're just gonna say every single episode because it's whatever. It's like, okay, time for the trope, and
hammered
then
home
after
over and
that,
over
it's just
again.
like it's really just a comedy show. A very simple comedy show.
So I read that when this show ended, the manga was actually still going. So it has an original anime ending. And apparently a lot of people hate it, but I was very much indifferent on it. I didn't care either way. Mostly because I didn't like this show. I didn't enjoy it at all. I've dropped it twice. And one of the other reasons why I wanted to extend the time frame of this podcast is I still hadn't finished it up to that point. And I'm like, ugh, I gotta hunker down. I gotta bunker down and at least try to finish this. And Hickey, I did finish it, and I hated like all of it. I don't know why I forced myself to finish this show.
Damn. Look at this guy.
That
wasn't that bad.
I was just bored the entire time. I did not give at all about the main character girl and her plight through sexuality that she just lacks the whole time.
You got bored with a show that has Mamoru Miyano as main character. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Like I get what the show's going for with the impact of personalities will impact the others, and they will slowly change / morph into their non teenage hormonal stage of their life and stop becoming a trope character and becoming their own individual being. That's the whole idea. Is that a fair interpretation?
No, it's really on point, I would
Okay.
say.
I just was not into it ever. I think too much slapstick comedy, too much trope, way too much trope. It was so trope heavy, like the entire time, every episode, over and over again. Really, an issue with a lot of comedy anime is the constant repeat of the same joke or jokes over and over again. I certainly was never in a mood for the show and couldn't get into the mood. So maybe it's a lot on me, but I know what I don't like, and it's this show.
No, I mean, I had an expectation for this show.
Mhm.
I thought it was going to be as you were describing, right? And maybe that's the point why I think it's not so bad. Is that I had an idea that the show would be. The Havasa harem, kind of Cinderella story, but I'm not the Cinderella. I'm my own prince kind of stuff. Very shoujo, very 2000 shoujo. And the first, I don't know, first 3 episodes are just like that, and the tropes are more prominent shown. Like the host tropes are more prominent shown in those first 3 episodes. Changes a little bit when Renge starts appearing, and she's great. She comes from the ground every single time. And there's like that maybe joke that the mortar she's using to propel her up will fail and explode, but it never does. Uh, After that, it is essentially a comedy show, and I enjoy the comedy tone of the show. How the characters change and influence each other are definitely very important. Don't care a lot about Haruhi, except when she's wearing a dress because I think she's cute. So whatever. But I don't think the show really missed the mark when it comes down to its comedy for what it is, right? There's no way for me to expect it to be an explicitly comedic show. It has certain boundaries of the genre and the demographic it's trying to uh, captivate. And there's a certain tonality of the comedy that it needs to address every single time. Uh, Even if it's the reversal of expectation with uh, Honey, like the little kid that is actually like a super martial artist dude. And so understanding those limitations to the show, I think it's not that bad. Because again, I was expecting something way worse. I was expecting late 2000s, early 2010s reverse harem,
Mm-hmm.
which are basically porn. But since this is shoujo, not really that explicit, but still, again, super into the harem kind of deal, with very overpowering male leads and a not so powerful female protagonist. But it wasn't like that. It was, again, just a comedy show. And I can appreciate for being a comedy show for someone that is not me, someone from, a uh, different genre than me, you know,
Oh yeah, it's certainly
and
for
doing
a way different
doing
audience
a
than
good
what we're
job at
looking
it.
for.
So like understanding those things, I didn't think was that bad because my expectation was also something completely different. Most of the characters end up surprising me in a sense as they develop and as they change. Even the twins, which I thought they were going to just stay as comedic relief kind of most of the time, but no, they all change. They all show themselves to be individuals. And the only really bad part of the show, I believe, to be again like the first 3 episodes because they are setting up the joke that the show is not a Havas harem or a romance show. It's more of comedy, so they need to bait you in. And the last 2 episodes, which is just the finale, it's just a cheap finale. I would say it's not like they ran out of time. It's not like they ran out of material. They just like, okay, the show's 26 episodes. We gotta find how to finish this the show as fast as it can. No leads to follow. No loose strings to hope for second seasons. We just contain the show on itself. And because of that, I found it's a little bit cheap. So aside that, uh, yeah, I enjoyed the show. I actually enjoyed it. I have no complaints on animation. I have no complaints on style. It is 2006,
I
and
thought it was a little dated,
although
even for the
although
time.
Kara no Kyokai came out in 2007, I believe, and it's they stick to to measure the shows most of the time. It's better than the 90s show when it comes to animation and usage of color.
Oh, that's true. I agree with
In
that.
the early 2000s, I would say it's more refined. It is Bones, so of course it's gonna be like one of the most refined anime in its era. The music's nice, and I enjoyed it. The opening is very iconic as well, and it doesn't change for 26 episodes. It's stuck like hell. But yeah, I'll say that there isn't much to talk about. It is just a very interesting, very dated, very one of a kind comedy show.
Yeah, there isn't really a whole lot like it out there.
Even if you exclude the Havas harem, it's a shoujo comedy show. There isn't much that you look back and think about. Oh yeah, like that show was a true comedy. It wasn't like a rom com, for example. This show tries to be a rom com, but it's not really
Not
trying that
really.
hard. It is much of a comedy. It's just like looking, yeah, it's like Gintama, which is just a comedy. Sometimes it has action, sometimes there's a romance, but it's honestly just a comedy. This is how I see the show. It's just a comedy for women or girls.
Yeah, I always thought there was going to be more drama to it rather than just straight up comedy. Like, are they going to do something more with Takashi? He had moments here and there. Even Kyoya had some moments here and there. But really, it was just, I don't know, maybe Haruhi herself is just too generic of a character, which is a common issue I have with a lot of the generic dump that I watch.
Hmm.
Because even the standard female character insert, if you will, she even made her look like a boy the whole time and act like one of them. So I'm like, God.
Yeah, it's just that she's the scummy, right? The straight man,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she needs to be not only a straight man to the jokes. She needs to be a straight man to the ridiculous nature of these rich people.
Yeah.
Like they are rich in a sense that it is really hard for us to even grasp.
Yeah, us us pores.
Yeah, it's like it is they're insanely rich that everything looks very trivial to them.
Well, hopefully,
And
if
most
I
of the
get
time the
my
joke is
big
like,
promotion here, I won't be part of
oh,
the poor people anymore.
okay. Where they're like, oh, we wanted to travel with her to, all these places. And she's like, man, I don't even know own a passport. Like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Oh, my passport
So,
expired.
she has
Let's
a
get a reminder.
double duty of being the straight man. And thus it eats away a little bit of personality she could have, like a
Mhm.
little bit more personality. Or if they fused like both jokes together, the nonsensical richness and the fact they are just goofy ass dudes. If you could fuse together, you have like one instance where she's always the straight man, but you could land into a bunch of poor people jokes. And those they try to separate a little bit. And so like they are goofy ass dudes with no common sense. Because of that, she needs to be a straight man, should have lack of common sense when it comes to money, and then the straight man when it comes to the fact they're goofy ass dudes. So most of the time, she's doing that. And when she's not, she's either contemplating the situations.
Mm-hmm.
She's very contemplative, so she's not very talkative. A lot of times she has no dialogue. And the rest is influencing the guys.
Yes.
So like a third of the time is straight man stuff. Because again, there's a bunch of situations she needs to comment because she's the normal person. She doesn't have billions of dollars that she can just waste away like it's nothing, like these guys have. She's not really that goofy, though she needs to call out to that. A third of the time, a situation happens, or there's something that needs to be done. Haruhi is kind of like the smartest of them. Not
Yeah.
the most intelligent, but like kind of like the most
She's based in reality.
yeah,
I guess the scene that stands out the most is when they're at the beach.
realistic probably.
Yeah, when they're at the beach and there's a bunch of dickheads bullying the other girls, and she steps in and basically stands up to them, and then all the dudes do the typical "you're a girl, you shouldn't be into that situation." She's like, "I don't know, I just saw people get bullied and stepped up. What of it, ho?" Okay, yeah, she's right. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's automatically weak, kind of deal. I get it.
Yeah. And then she's contemplating, so she's quiet, or she's thinking to herself, or she's questioning things.
Yeah.
Then there's the conclusion where she essentially out of comedic situations say something or do something cool, and that touches the guys, and they become a little less goofy. There isn't a lot of room to piece together or to stitch together a cause and effect to how she came to that conclusion, because you have so little time of her contemplating what she should do, and most of the time she's just being the straight man and being like, man, I don't want to be involved with this. And then without being really involved with anything, she solves everything. Or she inspires someone to solve the situation, and they essentially takes a card out of their sleeve, and they can solve the situation because they were inspired by Haruhi to do so. That's one of the weakest part, I guess, of the story, but I don't think it's enough to really influence at least my entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen worse than this. It's just that the fact that they tried really hard to not only do jokes about poor people kind of gave her double duty of being the reality check as well for those guys. And Dragongate as well, because she's kind of a Nojo Sama.
Yeah. I guess my direct comparison of, at least in terms of enjoyment, was Bakuto Test. So remember, I didn't really enjoy that all that much either.
Test.
I enjoyed this less than Bakuto Test.
You just don't like comedy anime.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, our next one's going to be a comedy anime. Our next one for review
fares better than both of them.
And I have seen, OVAs and stuff before of You're Under Arrest. Will the TV be a little more Generic? It's
Dragged
possible. Dragged out, yeah.
Generic.
We'll see. I don't think I'm going to finish all 50 episodes, but I'll watch what I can. But Ouran High School Host Club, I think you're right where mechanically and the genre it is and how it presents itself, yeah, that's all. It hits the mark in all those. Where it falters to me is I just didn't have any interest in the show at all. I don't think it's bad, but it's bad for me. So I have I'm going to give it a score based on full enjoyment and bias value. I'm like at a 4 or 5 out of 10. Like I can't really go lower than that because it's not like a travesty of a show like we have seen in the past. But Uritsu Yatsura is a comedy, and I enjoy that more. But
Man. That says a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of where I
I
stand.
give it a 7. I think it achieved what it went out to do.
People love
to
this
achieve.
show. Like, holy shit.
Yes, because like again, it's a really well-crafted show. It is a really well-crafted comedy. It is not a comedy for me because I'm not a 14-year-old girl, but
It's a bold
and
statement.
I as far as I know,
So last I checked.
and when I was 14 years old, I was, a normal boy watching the pervy anime because that was funny to me. That's why they do a lot of those. Well, now they do isekai things. There's not a lot of pervy stuff anymore. But anyway, however, understanding the limitations,
Especially
of
after
the show,
playing
as I call limitations,
oh
but
god, it was pervy back then. Oh my god.
yeah, it was very pervy.
Jesus.
Everything was kind of pervy.
Ugh.
But understanding the borders the show chose for itself and how to present itself, I think it's a very solid show. There's a few problems, yes, with the subjective goals of the characters
Mhm.
and how you achieve them, especially because it's episodic.
Yep.
So the subjective goals should be stronger because the objective goals are episodic and are automatic, achievable. That is playwriting. Because I was drunk and bought a book about it. I'm reading. Thus, if you do everything very objectively, it's not really that fun, and probably that's why you don't think the show is very entertaining is because if you set up a goal for your characters,
Mhm.
an objective goal, let's say, it uses like it's a generic isekai, and we need to save the world from the demon lord. Very generic kind of Japanese show, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
are in a we need to defeat the demon lord. This is your objective goal. No matter what you do, you're going to defeat the demon lord. There's no instance in the universe where your characters do not defeat the demon lord.
Or at least
That's
attempt
why
to.
you need to. No, they will defeat him. That's the goal. Like there's no way when you're writing a story and you set that objective goal, there's no way you're not going to achieve that. Thus, the achievement of such goal is automatic.
Although it's funny if you spend all that time watching and then they just all get brutally murdered at the end of it all.
Well, maybe. That's why you cannot do that. That's why it's automatic,
You'd
right?
be like, wait a minute. After all that, they lose? Yes.
Yeah, and you're gonna get pissed, just like how you missed one item and you cannot go back
Yeah.
for that item.
Although there's a lot of manhwa I've been reading
Then
where
you
it's totally regression. Like the whole start of it is they get annihilated.
and then they come back.
And then they come back, and the whole journey is now, because I know the future, I can get stronger faster and better and guide people to winning in the
that's
end.
the subjective goal.
Yeah.
The characters, they need a subjective goal that maybe not even them are conscious of that goal. And in the book, they call just like that. You have a conscious goal. Priest said, Demon Lord is being revived. I am the hero. I need to go and kill it. That's a conscious goal. And then you have the subjective or unconscious goal, where it's essentially character growth and how you achieve that, interpersonal relationships, where to go, what you do, how it affects you. This show is episodic. The objective goals or conscious goals are 1-2 episodes long.
Yeah.
There's a little conflict. We need to resolve it. The subjective goal or unconscious goals in episodic anime, not only Ouran High School, but every single shonen, is extremely important because this is the fabric that will stitch all those episodic shows together as the character progresses and grows. Since Haruhi stays stuck as a straight man for most of the time, and most of the time she's on screen, you don't have like a very definitive or defined goal, and she's also very dense, so that also doesn't help.
Yeah.
The subjective goals are from the leading males, but they are not strong enough. They're not shown strong enough because they're not aggressive enough when it comes down to those subjective goals to really stitch its story together, and thus you have holes. You're gonna have a little bit of the subjective unconscious goal, then a big hole, and then this character remembers that unconscious goal they are pursuing, uh, become the boyfriend of Haruhi most of the time, and then it kind of comes back and gives a little bit of depth for the character, but then shallow again. And since the objective, a conscious goal, is not really that interesting, it's a host club.
Well, we're
You end
going to
up
do a
kind
couple
of
other
feeling
shows later this year where goals and writing take a
I'm
turn.
prohibited.
Yeah, take a turn, and it like, can it ruin a show in its entirety? That's the big question there. Because at least when we talked about Gurren Lagann, there's opinions of which direction you could go, but it didn't ruin the show. We're going to come across a few of those later this year that is going to be interesting to talk about.
I cannot wait.
Especially upon a rewatch of
It's
them,
not
because
like-
I have
it's-
my initial
it's not
opinion
like
on
I
them, and it's
know-
not good.
It's not like I know which ones are coming.
Attack on Titan falls into that heavy eye-rolling, why did I watch this category?
Well, I mean, one day we can.
And I
talk
didn't
about
fall.
it.
I didn't fall for it after what? There's been some anime where I just continue to watch it and I'm just hating it the whole time. And Attack on Titan, I just straight up dropped it. I was like, I'm not going through that again. I'd rather just not finish the show.
So finishing up a 7. I think the 7 is
Yeah.
good.
I think 7's probably a more fair score than my
One
my
for-
my
okay.
visceral reaction to it. It's not like I
There's
outright
nothing wrong
buried
with
the
it.
show. I've done that. I've said much worse in the past to other things.
There's nothing wrong with it, and when it comes to shoujo, I would recommend Ouran.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Fair. Okay. So our next one is You're Under Arrest TV from, I believe it's like 95, 96, around there.
Yep.
Comedy. Continuing down that train. See what happens. See you next time, everybody.
Peace.